Hi everyone and welcome to J Fresh Talk, where we talk all about art and we share our guest journey. Today's episode we'll be talking all about illustration for newbie and how to convert your art into a physical product. I'm your host Judy Tamer, and in today's episode I'm so excited to be joined by our amazing artist Ines. She is an illustrator and a digital artist. She will share with us her journey of becoming an artist. So yeah, let's get started. Hi Ines.
Hello. Thank you
How
so
are you
much.
doing?
This is so nice.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good today. It was a very good day. It's still hot here in Portugal.
Yeah, in Egypt also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you? Are you okay? Everything
Yeah,
is good?
it's great actually to start the day with meeting with you. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. So, did you work anything before becoming a full-time artist?
Yes, before becoming a full-time artist, I was working at an agency, and I was working as a designer. And yeah, it was like a graphic design, so I would do all the creative part too, and then I decided to become an illustrator.
So, do you think your job as a graphic designer helped you as an artist?
Yeah, for sure, because in art, I think in the artist world, you are passionate about a lot of things. And before being a graphic designer in that agency, I studied product design, like equipment design. So and then I went to the graphic world, and I loved doing all the graphic parts of the. It wasn't that creative. Sometimes it was more I had to do in a specific way, like using. It wasn't as creative as right now,
Yeah.
but it helped me a lot to understand a lot of, for example, a lot of softwares and illustration, video. I learned a lot of video that I use right now in
Yeah.
my videos and in reels and TikToks and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think also graphic designer help artists with the color palette or the color selections. Do you agree with that?
When I choose my colors and stuff like that in my work.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yes. I think it's very important to know color theory, and of course, it's very different from the graphic world, because when well, at least for what I've learned, is that in the graphic world you use a lot of a small color palette, but also in the illustration world is very important to also not use every color in the color wheel.
yeah. What's been in your mind recently that you want to share with our listeners?
I have been I went for like 2 weeks on vacation. And when you're like with full of work and you don't think about the work-life balance, and you're very stressed, and well, when I went on this vacation, I was so like open-minded and so relaxed that I forgot that that's very important also to be inspired. So I think that's one of the things that be I'm trying to it to understand that that's important for my life, and the work life balance, and take breaks, very important too.
Yeah, actually, taking breaks for artists is very important to get motivated again to start drawing.
Yeah, for sure, and to be inspired and not have art block.
Yeah. So, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm definitely an introvert.
Yeah, me
Definitely.
too, actually.
I think a lot of artists are like introverts.
Yeah.
They like to be in their own space, and and somehow it's it's a lot of artists are, and even though there's my best friend is an artist, but she's not an introvert, she's an extrovert.
That's rare, actually. So, what motivates you to get up in the morning? Is it sex or something else?
um well, I think right now it's more my work. Like, I love what I do, even though sometimes it's very stressful. But yeah, I before that, when I was working at the agency, I remember that it was very hard to wake up and go and work there and everything. Even though the agency was very good, the people were so nice, but now I'm doing what I love, and of course it's more about being ambition and trying to do more during my daily life. And yeah, and I always want to do something. Like, I always have you have to have an objective to pursue. So
And I think actually your passion is what motivates you. Oh,
yeah, for
well, most
sure.
of the artists are like that. Their passion for art.
Exactly. Like, for example, you have it's like, okay, today I'm going to do this, so I have this planned and I want to accomplish that, so that's why you wake up and you want to do stuff.
Yeah. So, what's your definition of success?
Oof, that's a very difficult question. I don't know. I think it was like I said, work-life balance. If you have a healthy um like a healthy work mindset, and then you also can juggle with your friends and be with your family. I think that's very important, at least for me. I couldn't just be working.
Yeah. So, do you have any tips for balancing life with work?
I'm still learning that myself. So I think it's important to plan everything, like not everything, but to plan your work. So, and have a schedule. Even though you're a freelance artist, you have to have a schedule. I'm not saying like you have to be at work at 8 and leave at 6, but at least do like things, a list of things that you have to do that day. And then if you accomplish that, you can be okay and be with your friends and not be stressful about that. Because when sometimes you're on vacation and you're stressed because you didn't do the work or something like that.
Yeah. I think you should have big headlines or big deadlines for you to accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally you have to have deadlines to have a schedule, and also if you don't have deadlines, sometimes it's difficult to do a job, because you're like, oh, okay, it's far away, I don't have
And
a
your life
deadline.
actually will be a hustle if you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about being a content creator?
How do I feel about it? It's not as easy as I thought in the beginning.
Yeah, me too, actually.
You really, especially in the part of mental health, like, it's not that it's very stressful, but I'm a very stressed person, so perhaps, I don't know, for other people it's more okay and it's more relaxed, but for me it's very um like, I have to do everything right, otherwise I will stress.
Yeah, I mean, actually,
But it's very good, like, you have um your own schedule, you can go outside and not be worried about something like appearing, like a meeting or something like that. And for me, that's awesome. But also you have the parts that are more negative, but that's normal, and that's in every work. I think there will be cons and pros
Yeah.
about you. Yeah.
So, what's your favorite or most inspirational place?
Um. I think my most inspirational place, it's not a place exactly, but it's like whenever, like nature, or if you feel it's more a quiet place and not crowded place, like where I went on vacation in the north of Portugal, it's nature everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you name something you love and something you don't? And
Something I love. In the art world or in
as you like.
okay. Okay, I'm not going to be like I love my family and stuff like that, of course, but I can say that I love doing sports. I love doing like running and walking outside. What I don't love public speaking. Public speaking. Talking in public.
Correct. I think we have many things in common.
Yeah, I hate that.
So, what seems depress you in your life?
What dreams? I would love to, like right now, I'm okay with my life, but I'm not completely 100% uh like uh that I can do this for my life and be okay, like I'm always very stressed about work and money and stuff like that. So my dream would be like to be doing what I love, if it's that like illustrating children's book, or doing something with illustration, and also have a healthy life, like a healthy lifestyle, be okay with the money and incomes and stuff like that.
Yeah, great, actually.
Mhm.
So, if you could have a magic wand and change something about the art world, what would it be?
Well, I think I would change that. The stigma that artists are, um, you cannot do art for your life. Sometimes, like for a full-time job. Whenever I say that, I have that whenever someone asks me, what do you do, or what job do you have? I always say I'm a graphic designer, because if I say I'm an illustrator, I have I have in my mind that that person will think that's not a job, but that's because we learned that artists are people that don't have a lot of money and don't have but that's wrong. That's completely wrong. So I would change the
Most
stigma.
people have that stereotype of an artist that you're an artist, so you only have one thing to do is to share your art in art galleries, and they don't know
Exactly.
the yeah,
That's not true.
yeah, actually.
When I started learning, when I start it's it's very sad, because when I started learning art, and even in school, you had like the painters, that was the most artistic career, and then I didn't know about digital illustration. I didn't know about that. Like I didn't have the knowledge that I could do that
Yeah.
later.
And actually, I think most people don't know till now what is the digital artist do.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you were in a desert island, what one artist would you like to bring with you?
I think I would bring Leonardo da Vinci, maybe, because he's not just an artist. He does it like he's an engineer. He knows science and everything. So I would bring him back to life, and then I would bring with me.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting answer.
That's funny. I have to think also about living in an island, you
Yeah,
know?
actually, he will help you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would be very helpful.
What's your favorite country to visit?
Oh, my favorite country to visit. I think right now I would love to visit Japan. It's so different from here, from Portugal, and I went to a lot of places already. But yeah, that would be the next one.
Yeah, I think Japan and China are totally different from Europe and America.
Yeah, I would love to visit. Like I went to Egypt already.
Yeah, it's
Yes, it
too
was
cute.
so good. I loved it. I loved it. I went to how do you say, cruise in the Nile, in
Yeah,
the Nile River, and it was so good. And we like went to visit a lot of places. It was so beautiful. I loved it.
yeah. Did you go to Aswan and Luxor?
Yeah, yeah. It's very beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great actually to hear that.
Yes, yes. And I went to oh, I don't know how to say in English right now. Tunisia? I don't know how to say it.
Tunisia, I think.
Tunisia is okay. They're so beautiful. And like when I was in my master's degree, we went to India too. It was very beautiful.
Yeah.
Like to a part, it was like it was Anantapur, which was a small part there, but we went for a project. It was a small like town, you know.
Was your
Yeah.
master related to art?
Yes, my master's degree was in equipment design, like product design, more physical, about like product, you know, like chairs and stuff like that. And it's not graphic part, because nowadays you go on LinkedIn and you put product design for search a work, and it is all graphic design. But no, it was equipment design, and it was very good. It was 1 year in Spain, in Madrid.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you like traveling?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
It
I
was so
saw that from
in
your experience, actually.
yes. You also like to visit other countries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, that's my
I
dream is to
love the
travel the
culture.
world.
Yeah, yeah. I love like the culture and everything, and knowing the food.
Different traditions. That's actually amazing to know the different traditions and cultures
Exactly,
of
exactly.
every country. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That it's so good. And I don't know, it's also great for inspiration, for example, for
yeah,
an artist.
yeah. So, what's the biggest risk have you ever taken in your career?
I think it was leaving my old job at the company, where you had like an income all the way every month, and then coming and becoming a full-time artist,
Yeah.
a freelance.
Hmm. Yeah, I think to become a freelance, you have to take the risk because you don't know what's coming.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, what's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest what?
Pet peeve annoys you the most.
Annoys me the most. Um, mm, that's- what does annoy me the most in the art related with art,
Yeah,
right?
it can be related with art.
Well, it annoys me a lot when people, when you share your work in Instagram or social media, and people take that image and start like getting their own opinions that are completely wrong, like and say like bad things about your drawing that it's not true. Yeah, like you don't know the person, you don't, like for example, stuff related with race and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very annoying because that's not the truth, and they're just there to because they don't have nothing to do with their lives, and so they
Yeah,
start
I
commenting on,
think they don't have the knowledge, so they hate on the art or something.
yeah, they just hate, and they don't do just for one artist, they
Yeah.
they comment on a lot
I
of
think
artists.
it's a hobby or something like that.
Exactly.
It's a bad hobby, actually.
Like you don't have anything more to do with your life, just
Yeah,
commenting and doing like
just
spreading hate.
some people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sad.
So, what's your favorite color and what does that say about you?
I think my favorite color would be like a range of color, like pink, purple, and that's that pink part, purple, because I don't know what says about me that I'm very girly, probably. No, I'm kidding. No, but I like I always, if you go on my Instagram, you see a lot of pink, you see a lot of purple and stuff like that. I don't know why. I love it. I always loved it. When I was a kid, pink was my favorite color. And then I went to a phase that I only wanted like dark colors, red and stuff like that. And then I'm back again with pink.
Yeah.
Like your lipstick. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. So, can you tell me about the three most influential people in your life and how they impacted you?
Okay. Three.
It can be anyone,
Well,
actually.
yeah. I'm thinking.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah. Maybe first, I don't know, like I don't want to say like my parents, because that's obvious. Like my parents, for example, they were always very supportive of my work and becoming an artist. They were wonderful about that, and so yeah, actually. But then I also have some friends and people that inspire me every day. Like I have this friend that we became friends very recently, but she's amazing. Like she's another artist. Her name is Bia. She's from Apenas Illustrator. I don't know if you know her, but she's a Portuguese artist, and she does a lot of things.
But I will check her after this meeting.
Yes, I'll send you. She's so sweet, and she has her own shop. She does also books, illustration for books, and she's always going to fairs to sell her things. And she has her own space where she does everything. Like she does everything. She does her notebooks, she does her stickers. It's very inspiring, to
Yeah,
to and you think, and she has also a YouTube channel where you can watch her videos, and yeah, it's very good. And also, I don't know, I have my best friend, which has the same name as me, Ines. And she's also an entrepreneur, and she is always doing something. And whenever I'm feeling down, she goes to me and says, you can do it, I believe in you, like don't give up and stuff like that. And also she does her own stuff, and she has her own company, so she's a big inspiration too.
Yeah, I think you're surrounded with a lot of amazing people.
For sure.
How did you get to where are you today in your career? Oh, how did you get into art, and can you share with us your background?
Of course, of course. So first, I actually went to art school. So I was in like a professional. I don't know how to say it, like you could go do the school and then you could go work already. It was like I don't know, like professional art school, and I took a course that it was more artistic, related with theater. And then I went to university and I took that course about equipment design and product design. It wasn't that artistic in that part, but it was very good to know a little bit more about like graphic design, because we had to do our booklets and stuff like regarding the product that we made for the projects. And yeah, and then I went to Madrid and I took the master's degree in again in the equipment design. It was very good because we had it was a course that involved three different courses. It was the equipment design, the graphic design, and then there was also strategic design, and we learned a little bit about every course. And then I went to I went to this work there. I started working in Spain in graphic design, and I started seeing videos and stuff like that. The artist world, that you could become a freelancer, and that part. I started getting more interest about that, and then I decided, okay, let's try that now that I don't have like kids and stuff like that I'm still young, and I wanted to try. And right now I think I'm still learning that part, that part of being a full-time artist and a freelancer. And but I think you're always learning wherever you are. You're always changing, and if you're not but it's good to try, if you're not okay, you can change and do other stuff. I was saying that was my like how I get here where I am today.
Yeah, I was saying, I think if you want to be a successful in your career, you need to be improving again and again. Actually, in every day, you need
Yeah,
to prove something.
yeah, that's true, you cannot stay in the same place for long,
Yeah,
because you feel comfortable for sure, but you won't improve your art, and then it would be boring too, I think.
yeah, actually. Yeah. And you will find other artists who improve their something, so you mean at the less level now.
Exactly, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think where you live, as you live in Portugal, affects your work or?
For sure, yes. Although when you're working from home, you can work with other countries, and so that's very flexible. But in Portugal, yes, for sure. Like, um, I don't think you have as many opportunities here as you have. I don't know, like for example, in equipment design, what I studied, you don't have almost anything here. You can do like stuff more that are not as artistic, are more, doing 3Ds and stuff like that. But in the north of Europe, you have more opportunities that there for that specific area.
So, can you share with us what are you working on now?
Right now, I am working on my portfolio, and I did work on the illustration portfolio, but then I wanted also to work on the graphic design portfolio so I can have more opportunities. And I'm starting right now a small project with the client. It's like a private client, I can't say much, but it's going to be fun. It's a big work, and it's like you have to do a lot of characters, and it's for kids. So the client likes Disney, so they wanted something not Disney related, but with the same style, you know.
Yeah. That's actually great, and I'm so excited to see this project. So yeah.
Yes, I don't know. It's going to be like long project, so
I'm waiting actually.
that's great. Yes, yes. I would love to be doing like a illustration book right now. But yeah, I need to like my own book. But I still need to have more income in order to be okay, and then do that in like my free time, you know.
Yeah, that's so. If you could work with any artist, who would it be?
um if I could work with any artist, I don't know. I would love like I wouldn't specifically choose one artist. Probably I would choose like several artists, and then it would be awesome to do like collaborative work, and to because sometimes when you work as a freelance, it's very lonely because you're here, you don't have anyone to give you advices. So I don't know, I would work with some Portuguese artists that I know here, like that girl that I told you, Bia, and the other artists that I would love to know more artists here in Portugal. But yeah, I would love to do everyone, and like a collaborative work, and not be so alone in my own work, you know.
Yeah, that's
That
interesting.
would be awesome.
So, as we think, both of us, that the artistic life is lonely, so what do you do to counteract that?
Yes, it can be very lonely, and one thing that I overcome is to like join classes outside of your house, like join I was saying the sport class. It's like a workout class, and you meet new people, so that's great. In order to you go outside of your house and talk to people, because if you stay all day doing just work, I think after 1 week you will be like crazy.
You
You
will be burnout, actually.
yeah, you'll burn out for sure. So it's very important to talk to people, and not only like we're doing right now, but also even physically, you know, going outside of your house.
You can go to workshops, I think it would be amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of workshops.
Yeah.
At least here in Portugal, I know there's a few.
And yeah, actually here in Egypt also, and I think in every country there will be some kind of
Yeah.
workshops.
Yes, yes. The important thing is to actually go out and talk to people physically, like not only digitally.
Yeah. So as you said, you like sport. Which sport is your favorite?
I love, like, I don't have a specific, like, for example, football or stuff like that. I actually love to do sport as a group, like, I don't know, running and doing those I don't know how to say specific, the squat, the lunges, you know. We do all that. It's very intensive work. Also like to do Pilates.
I'm really excited to try Pilates. I really want
Yeah, it's
to try. Yeah.
it's very good, especially for artists because of the back, you know, you're always with your
Yeah.
back.
Actually, this is one of the following question. Any tips for back pain?
Exactly. Oh, that's one you can do.
You should do Pilates.
You can do Pilates or just walk, you know, and have a rest. That's very important to sleep, because when you're sleeping, your spine, there's the, I don't know how to call it in English, but
Spinal
part,
cord.
sorry.
You mean the spinal cord?
Yes, the spine, you need to rest in order for it to recover again. So there's these small sponges, I don't know how to say, in your back. They need to be recovered during night. So sleeping is very important too for back pains. And then while walking and doing exercise, that's good.
It's like great. What do you hope people take from your art? Do you have a message?
Yeah, I think I would love that people get inspired by what I do, and I would love to like, for those people that are starting right now the illustration, the important thing is that you don't give up, even though if you think that you are not still there where you want to be. And also I would love to that people see my art and feel like joy and happiness. And yeah, that's, I wanted people to get inspired and feel happy. And yeah, I think that's it.
That's an awesome message, actually. So, um, can you describe for us the process of your idea creation of an a drawing?
Yeah, for sure. I can give you an example. For example, I don't know, let's see,
Right. Okay.
an idea creation. um I'm trying to to look for an example, a drawing that I did recently. But oh, I know one. Okay. um I did this drawing for a contest, and we had basically to read a poem and then do the drawing of that poem. And what I did is basically I tried to take out from the poem the most important feelings that it transmitted me. And then I searched a lot. Like, I love that part, like searching for photos and stuff like that. And then I do a mood board sometimes, not always, but when it's a big project or a more important project, I do a mood board. And then I also always try to do the sketch part, like do several sketches. And then I start, like, that's the beginning. I think that's what you wanted to know, no?
So now we learned about your idea creation. So can you take us a little more about your process of creating art?
Yes, for sure. And so I always, like I said, I always do the research, and then I have several references. And what I do, for example, for commissions, is that I always do in 3 parts, or like in 4 parts. It depends. You have first you have to understand what the client wants, or what idea you want to convey on your drawing. And then is start doing sketches, like very fast sketches. Don't be concerned about details. And then I go for the next part, which is the line work, if the client wants, or a more fine, a final line work. It doesn't need to be perfect. For me, at least, I don't do a lot of line works. And then I go to the color palette. I just put the flat colors. And after that, I always, in these phases, I always talk to the client to see if everything is okay, if they want to change anything. And then it's the final details like lights, shadows, and details. And that's it.
Actually, it's interesting how each artist have a different process for creating their art.
Yeah, everyone has different process, but
Yeah.
it's always like a little bit similar, you know?
Yeah, in some ways.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what has been the most rewarding experience in your career so far?
I think it was when I won an award, and it was for the book. We won the first prize, so we were able to publish. I mean me and the writer, because it was an award for the writer and for the illustrator, and we won that, and it was so good. We went, like, it was a weekend, and we went to talk about the book and to promote it, and it was my first book, so it was like my baby.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
Do you have a memorable response you had on one of your artwork?
Like a memorable response, like for yes, I had more than one time people like went to my DMs, and they sent a message saying, oh, I love your art, you're so inspiring. And like they said stuff like, when anyone says like your art inspires me to do my own art, I always get, oh, you know, it's very special to me, because I also feel that from other artists, and I don't know, I never thought about me being in that position too.
I think actually when I got this message also it's really made my day actually this message.
Yes, it's always very sweet.
Yeah.
It's so,
It's always
yeah,
very sweet to from nowhere you see this message popping into your DM.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, it always makes me smile, and it's very nice. I don't know, it's very, and that's one of the things that I like about social media, you know. You have a great, also there's a great community, art community, and I love them. And so I can't say like I talk with everyone, because it's impossible, you know, but you make a lot of friends there.
Yeah. Professionally, what's your goal and what's your dream project?
Well, I think I have a big not dream project, but like I would love to be a part of a team that would be like animation / illustration, you know, doing character designs for like a bigger, not a bigger company, but with where I could do that part, you know, not only alone where I'm doing right now, but being a part of a bigger project.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the first part of the question was, sorry.
What's your goal?
My goal, yeah, I mean, that's one of my dream jobs, but my goal would be to continue as an illustrator and to do more children's book illustration, and feel good with my life, you know, not be stressed about it.
Yeah. So, what's the best piece of advice someone had gave you?
um I think it was whenever I was feeling down because of something that didn't go as I planned. and you always think, okay, I'm going to give up, this doesn't make any sense to continue, or something like that. I think every artist in somewhere in their life will feel that. And I think one of the things, it was my father, and he told me, like, you can't give up just because something went wrong. You need to keep trying. And if, like, if you don't accomplish what you want because of, well, something outside of you, or if you don't do whatever you need to try, never feel comfortable, and you won't be okay with yourself because you didn't try enough, you know. So the most important thing, I think, that he told me, it was not just give up because of something that you couldn't accomplish in that time.
I think, as you said, most of the artists actually have this time in their life as they
Yeah.
want to give up on being a freelance or a full-time artist. And actually, this happened to me with this podcast. Actually, as you know, and I recorded an episode with you 1 year ago, and I started 1 year ago,
Yeah,
then stopped because I got disappointed and upset. But here we are now. I changed a lot of things about it, and I changed its name, and yeah, hopefully it will be a successful podcast.
exactly. Like, you just need to do, you know. And probably you are perfectionist, so if you see that it's not completely as you want it, or as you picture, like as you imagine, you will stop, because, but that's not the, I think the important thing is just to continue. And if it's not perfect, that's not perfect, you will get better after. You just need to continue and do more, and
Yeah,
you'll get better and better.
in some way you have to start.
Exactly. Yeah. That was my idea when I started the YouTube channel. I have a, like, right now I don't post as much, but I started my YouTube channel, and it was like you. I started, and then I gave up, and then I started again, you know. I was always like this.
Yeah, back and forth.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, do you have a strongest memory to your childhood related to art?
Yes, I have. When I was very young, I don't know, I was very young. I don't remember what age I was, but I did some courses in like a I did some courses, and it was oil painting, and it was so much fun. It was every Saturday morning. I went there and I painted a painting. Like, I have several paintings in my parents' house, um, and it was really good, because I started realizing that I really loved art, and that was something that made me realize that maybe that was an area that I could pursue, you know. But I was very young still.
That's amazing that you have actually some of your paintings when you were young.
Yes.
Can you share with us what's your biggest failure in your career and how did you overcome it and what do you learn from it?
Yes. So I can be honest right now. So I'm not where I wanted to be, as we are talking today. I would love to uh, be having my own like my own children's book, and be doing that. So I think right now I am in that phase that I'm thinking, okay, I'm going back to a company and try again, you know, like going back to feel safe, and then I know what I did wrong, and I can come back if I think that's something that I want in the future.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a little bit right now, because I could say to you that it was when, for example, I entered in some contests and I didn't won, but that's just, that happens. If you're an artist, it's very important to enter, and you won't win every contest. So yeah, that's also very sad. But I think right now is where I'm feeling a little bit disappointed with my career, you know. And when we first talked, I was very exciting, and okay, I'm going to, you know, it's going to be awesome. But right now I'm
You mean
feeling a little
last year?
bit, yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with everything. And but it's taking one step at a time. I'll say, you know, it's not bad that sometimes it doesn't work for you. And maybe you didn't have everything planned out well when you started, or something like that. And or you didn't know everything regarding like finances and stuff like that.
Actually, that's sad to hear that, but I think you should take your father's advice, as you said before, and you can keep trying. And actually, I'm believing in you that you will one day you will have your own book.
Yes, yes, or at least my several books with like authors, but like designed by me and illustrated by me. That would be awesome. Yeah, but it's okay. Like it's okay. It's not. It's The important thing is like that. You said it doesn't. You don't need to give up. You just need to try and balance work and not hobby, but two works at the time, you know. But at the same time, then can continue with what you were doing before you do it again, you know.
Yeah. In your opinion, what's integral to the work of an artist?
um I think it would be like doing, sometimes you have to do work that you don't like, but to live, you know. But also at the same time doing work that you do like. Imagine that you're doing a project that is not one thing that you love, you know, but you have to also have at the same time other project that you do like, so you don't feel just bad because you're just doing one thing that it's not making you happy, you know.
Yeah.
But whenever you feel that you are comfortable, you don't need to accept every job. Just
Actually, I
but
think,
in the beginning sometimes you have to
yeah, I think,
sorry.
as you said, most of the time you can be in a bad mood and you have a commission to work on it. And as you said, for that,
Yeah,
you cannot you can decline some of the commission you have, or say, I don't have time or something like that.
yes, yes, exactly. Like if you can, you don't need to say yes to every commission, you know.
Yeah,
I had some commissions that I didn't want or didn't feel comfortable, but the important thing for you to feel happy as an artist is at least be doing one thing, even if it's a drawing after work that you like, or before work, you know.
yeah. What are the most helpful resources that have helped you in the beginning of your career?
In the beginning, I watch a lot of videos from other artists. I get a lot of inspiration from them, and also like, for example, doing watching videos, learning how to do anatomy and stuff like parts of the illustration that I didn't feel comfortable, like lights and shadows, or it's a lot of learning and then doing and practicing a lot also. And then planning, basically planning what you want to do in your day and have like a balance on what you do every day.
Yeah. And I think YouTube and Skillshare and Domestika are a very helpful
Yeah,
resources for beginners.
for sure. If you don't have the money, you just like go to YouTube, and you have um a lot of videos.
Yeah.
If you like a
And
specific
actually,
artist,
I found separate courses, a full course on YouTube for free.
yeah, that's true. I mean, if you like a specific artist, you also can go to their Instagram or their website, and some perhaps they have like a Patreon,
Yeah.
and it's not that expensive. Like you can go. I loved the YouTube channel of Sarah Faber. She's very well known in the art community,
Okay.
and then she
And
did
actually,
she
Sarah,
basically
remember if you're watching this, I want you on more podcast.
oh no. She's very she was one of my biggest inspirations, actually, when I started. And if you go scroll down to my Instagram, you can see like the inspiration on her. And what I did basically was going to her Patreon and learning from her, and she has a lot of great advices there in her Patreon. And for example, if you go to a Patreon and you pay, like, I don't know, they have several pay,
Yeah.
yeah, and you go to one that is not as expensive, you can pay like 10 euros for a month, and for a month you have all the videos she made when she since the beginning,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a lot of content. So Patreon is very good also to learn from your favorite artist.
Yeah. Hi everyone again, and hi Ines. I'm
Hello,
really happy to
Jody.
have you again. So, how are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm very good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, let's get started with the questions. So, what's one piece of advice would you give to starters who want to start their career as an illustrator?
So, one piece of advice is to practice a lot and to don't compare yourself to other artists, because sometimes that can be harmful for your mental health, and it's important to um, just practice. And sometimes artists are also always asking me about my style or the style in general, and I think that's one of the things that will appear with time and with a lot of practice. So yeah, basically that's it. Like, continue to practice, don't give up, and don't compare yourself to others on social media.
Yeah, that's useful advice. Thank you. So, what's your favorite productivity hack for artists?
So one of the things that I started doing more often was to plan my day. So whenever I have a lot of tasks to do, I like to plan them, and so I don't get so stressed about not doing something, or just focusing myself on a drawing and then leaving the other tasks for another day, because they're always it's a pile of tasks then. So yeah, I think that would be.
If you leave one, you will continue. It will generate the file, actually. So, and I think actually planning is an important key to freelancing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very important.
Yeah. So, what's your ultimate guide for newbie who want to start a career as an illustrator? What software and gear do you recommend for them?
So I started with Photoshop because I had the license, and then I realized for drawing the one that suited me best, and it's I something I saw a lot of other artists using was the Procreate app. So once I got my iPad, which is not very cheap too, so but I could buy one, and then I tried the Procreate app, and for me it was the best app, and it still is. So yeah, it is an app for drawing. You pay once in the beginning, and then you don't have to pay again. So for me, it was very helpful compared with Photoshop, which is a little bit more expensive each year. And yeah, but you have a lot of other softwares too.
Yeah, I think Procreate is the best option for beginners. Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
actually a lot of tutorials on YouTube have on how to use it.
Yes, there's a lot of a lot. Like I have in my YouTube too.
Yeah, so go check them out.
Exactly.
So, if an artist want to convert their art into physical product like notebook or bookmark or on cups and that other stuff, what tips and advice do you have for them, and from where do they have to start?
So I used to do also notebooks, and I always do my drawings in an A3, which is a bigger size. The biggest one I can do on my iPad Pro on Procreate, and I always use the color mode CMYK because CMYK is to printing, is for printing, and it's good. Oh, and normally I do that, and then I have Photoshop, and I go to Photoshop, and I use already like a mode where I know that it will print well, because I have a printer here at home, so I know what works better with my printer. And you have to see that if you have a printer at home, you have to do a lot of printing tests. So in order to see, because you won't have the same colors as you have in your iPad. That's like impossible. I mean, it's not impossible, but it depends on the printer too. So I try to see which color modes work better, and I try to do play with color balance, with saturation and stuff like that. And
To
then
get
you
the best result.
exactly. And then you have your drawing, and you can put in your whatever format you want. And I always use Photoshop just because one thing in Procreate, once you put your drawing in this to this, you move your drawing, it gets pixelized. So I use Photoshop I export it as a PNG, and then I use Photoshop to do that, so it doesn't get pixelized. So that's important too.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you. And actually, I think if you don't have a printer at home, it's not a problem. You can go to a local printing shop in your town
Yeah,
and do a collaboration with them. Actually, they will accept the idea. They will say no. Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of printing places online. Sometimes it's online, the best ones. And you can send them emails to know how they work. They sometimes also send you samples of their work, and you can see if it's good or not, and if you want it or not.
If it's aligned
There's
with your style or not.
exactly. If they, because they have a lot of options, like with sparkles, with no sparkles, transparent
Yeah.
background. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, in your opinion, what are the rules of illustration that starters should follow to get a good illustration?
I think, like, for me, I started in an art school, so I was obliged almost to know these rules, like the rules of anatomy, the rules of perspective views, and stuff like that. And I think it's important to also for yourself to know the basis, it's and then you can go outside of those rules, like do, for example, in characters, bigger heads, bigger eyes, etc. But to know, for example, the color theory, and to know what colors work better with each other, it's important. And but yeah, I don't think when you drawing when you practice a lot, there's no specific rules once you know the basis. I don't know
Yeah.
if it is, but that's my opinion, at least. If you know the bases, then you can play with them and change them.
Yeah, and I think actually, in my opinion, if you are going in the imaginative world and do real people portraits, you can play with the rule. But I think if you will do people portraits, I think actually you should stick to the proportions and anatomy
Exactly.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on the style you're looking for. For example, I do very cartoony slash Disney style, but if you want to do real portraits, like mimic the reality, that's very important. You should know the anatomy well.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for drawing clothes?
For drawing,
Clothes?
closes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's better to do it visually than to talk about it. But of course, so you have a lot of type of clothes. How do you say in English?
Clothes, yeah. Clothes.
So, for example, you have chunky clothes where um, it all depends on the volume, I think, and on the drapes, like
Yeah.
this, you know. So, for example, in my style, I always do first the shape, and then I use like just a few lines, not too much because it's not realistic. So I use the main lines to do to shape the body, and then you can also use textures. Textures are very helpful to identify the type of clothes it is.
Thank you. So now let's get to some of the followers' questions. Okay. The first question was about back then, and we talked about it in the last recording. Yeah, do Pilates.
Right.
So the second question we have, if you have a drawing you must hand in a deadline, how do you deal with distractions?
Um, I actually work better with deadlines. So imagine that I work better during stress. So I procrastinate a lot. And then in the final days, I work, And one thing that I try not to do is to see a lot of YouTube videos and stuff. So I just put on music and draw and plan the day. Like this day I have to finish the sketch. The next day I have to do the coloring and so on. You know, I think it's a lot of that, and leave the distractions in another place.
I think you should go to a quiet room and close the door.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
It depends on what you work better. Like I work very well with music.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I get very distracted once when I'm seeing something on the computer. You know, I like,
Yeah.
this is where I work, and I have here my iPad, and the computer is here. So I normally see a YouTube video while I am drawing. So, but if I want to get focused, I just listen on some music.
That's amazing. So another question we have: how do you approach working on book projects?
How do I book projects? So when
How do you approach the writer? Yeah.
Yes. So I start by always doing the storyboard. So first I read, of course, the text, and I underline everything that I find that's important. I put on the side notes. I actually have some there, but I cannot show you. But I put the notes, and then traditionally, I don't use the digital. I first use traditionally, and I draw like a storyboard, a very, very rough storyboard. And then once I have an idea, I go for the digital part. And I start by also do the storyboards, but with something that, for example, you would understand, because the first ones, you won't understand my drawings.
A little bit not.
Exactly. It's just like small squares, and you won't understand what's inside. But then I go digitally, and I also add a part where the text will be, and then I do it. I clean all the sketches. I add the text to see if it fits, and then I normally send to the client or to the writer, depends on with whom you're working. And after they say yes, like the sketching and all the story is right, or it's according to them, I start the coloring phase, and then it's just again feedback, and then the final part and everything. And then it depends if you have to do the design of the book or not. But the last one that I didn't have to do the design of the book.
Yeah. And I think actually, if you want to start in the book illustration thing, you should have your portfolio. You should work on your portfolio.
Oh yes, for sure. I'm working on my own portfolio, and I don't think I'm very perfectionist, and I don't think it's very good yet for sending. But you should work definitely, and you should put like character designs, books that you worked on, or even illustrations that you like to do, you know, like the style that you like to do. And yeah.
So another question, do you have any tips for color palettes, for choosing the color palettes?
Yes, of course. It depends on what you like, of course. But for example, there are people that like a lot of how to say complementary colors.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you don't have Procreate, you can also go on the internet and see which complementary color is the one, which is the yellow one, and you will see it's the purple, you know, and you can play with that. Another tip is to use less colors. So, of course, you have the colors like skin color and stuff like that, but then you have the main colors, which can be 5 or 4 or 3. The less colors, sometimes the better, put a lot of colors, it's not always the best choice.
Yeah.
And yeah, and just study a little bit of color theory, and like I said, you have complementary colors, you have, I don't know the names exactly, but you have the one that is like the same color scheme,
Yeah.
kind of the same color scheme, and I like those better.
Me too, actually. I think it's kind of look like smoothing or nice
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
eye.
But
Yeah.
I like to see the other artists that use complementary colors. I think they're just so, it's top, because I cannot do sometimes those illustrations.
I think the colors or the color palettes it will get better and better by practicing and
For
choosing
sure. Yes,
and
yes.
trying. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And another thing is, like, if you like, imagine that you like a specific artist because of the colors they use. You can check the colors they use and see if you can, and practice with those colors. Like, you can
Yeah.
see, okay, they use a lot of, I don't know, orange, blues, and whites, and whatever. And you can play yourself. You can play in your drawings with those colors. That's also a good one.
So, do you have any tips on how to find your own art style?
The big question.
I get asked a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I
Actually,
always,
I think on every story I post for an episode podcast, I get this question.
yes, yes. I was also like that, when I was beginning to
Me
draw.
too. And actually,
Um,
I till now I didn't find my own style.
no, I think deep down, every one of us has a style. Like, for example, I don't know, because I don't think people, some of artists, yes, you can identify very well their style. It's very, like, because they do something always in their drawings. But I think, for example, in my drawings is more about the character being very cute, and it's always, I try to do a bad character and it turns out being cute anyway. But it's very difficult for you, like, yourself, identifying your own style sometimes, especially when you're beginning, because when you're beginning, you're practicing and you're trying on different styles. So, and that's good. Like, it's good for you to try on different styles, because then you will realize, okay, I like this better, I can do, like, the eyes like this, the mouth like this, and you can combine a lot of styles that you like, and then you create your own style. So for me, it was more about that. It was learning from other artists that I liked. And okay, I saw, I like the colors they use, I like the way they use the light, or the way they do noses, eyes, whatever. And then I combined that and with my own uh, drawing. And then I realized, oh, okay, I like this. But I think still today, I'm changing. You're always changing, and that's a good thing too.
That's okay, actually. You can change your style from time to time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. If you think you don't have a style, just continue practicing and try on different things, and then you will realize that one day, okay, I can see, you see on your Instagram, and you see, oh, okay, I think I have a style now. you know
Yeah. Yes. So, how can listeners support you and your work?
Well, they can support me on Instagram. I go by Ines Sketches with just one S. And they can support me also on YouTube. And I have TikTok right now, but it's like, I want to, it's still like, But I go there sometimes.
And I will find also the links in the description down below.
Yes, yes, thank you. And you can always DM me if you want, if you have any questions or something, or I don't know, just want to talk. You can DM me and I will reply.
Yeah. Is there anything we haven't covered yet that you would like to say before we close out?
Well, no, I think we covered a lot of things, and it was very, very nice to talk with you, Jody. And I think the questions are great. I loved answering them. Sometimes, like, I'm sorry about my English if it's not very good. I need to practice more. It's like drawing. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, what was your favorite part of this episode?
I think it was better right now, like today, because yeah, we it's better when I know you better and I can talk to you like more freely, and I really like talking and giving advices too, so that's really nice.
Thank you so much, Ines. Thank you so much, Ines, and thank you so much for everyone watching this episode or listening in the podcast platforms. And that brings us to the end of this JBrush Talk episode. We hope you enjoyed learning about Ines as an artist and her amazing art journey, and how to start your career as an illustration, or how to convert your art into physical product. Tune in to our next episode next week, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at JBrushTalk. And if you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ines.